Good morning, everyone. Now, our session will start 9:30, so almost 9:30 now, so we'd like to start. And I would like to remind all of you to switch off your mobile phone or set it to the silent mode, please. So, good morning and welcome to the Moonshot International Symposium, Day 2, the Working Group 7 on Cross-Sectional Issue, Part 1, ELSI. Very long title. And thank you all for joining us. My name is Kobayashi from Osaka University, and the chair of this working group and play the role of moderator for this session. Let me introduce briefly the purpose of this session. The topic of The topic of this session is ELSI, a contemporary society, the rapid increase of what we can do by science and technology research asks us to consider how to balance it with what we should do and what we should not do. ELSI activity, including research and practice, is the activity just for this purpose. Unfortunately, the session is ELSI and the moonshot rather than ELSI of the moonshot. The reason is very simple. This 2-day symposium is the occasion to make the goals of the moonshot program clearer. So today, we cannot meet the researchers of moonshot program. At the same time, we must admit, Japanese researchers and policymakers do not always have enough understanding of ELSI. So we set a goal to share the understanding of ELSI in this session. Of course, ELSI is a complex and multifaceted activities with transdisciplinary research. Through the session, we try to show ELSI comprehensively, but of course not exhaustively. We expect to be able to discuss these questions today. What is ELSI? Why is ELSI necessary? How is the situation, especially in Japan? What are the issues on the site and the challenges? Concrete and the practical problems are instructive for implementing ELSI in researches. And how can we implement ELSI in the Moonshot program? After getting common understanding of ELSI, we can proceed to the next step, that is ELSI of the Moonshot program. Due to time constraints, let me allow to skip discussion after each presentation. We have time for discussion after all presentations finish. And please allow me to skip to introduce the profile of presenters. You can look them in the website of this symposium. So, the first presenter is Professor Kobayashi Shinichi.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Kobayashi, another Kobayashi from Hiroshima University. At the beginning of this session, I'd like to talk about personal experiences related to the ELSI. ELSI means ethical, legal, and social issues. The following speakers in this session will talk about ELSI in more systematic and proper manner. So I hope in my presentation, my personal experiences help you to get a clear image of the real ELSI. I begin with technology assessment in Japan. Technology assessment is one of the a kind of a ELSI. I was working the National Data Library from 2017 as 13 to 17. In 2016, MDL was recognized as an associate member of the EPTA. EPTA means European Parliamentary Technology Assessment Network. And associate member means a member country outside Europe. Yes, we already, Japanese already own the parliamentary technology assessment or TA-like activities. Today, the term of the TA means a broader sense, such as science technology analysis to advise MPs and so on. And the second story is the origin of ELSI and airborne survivors. I am working for Hiroshima University. As you know, the university was located in the city damaged by the airborne in 1945. And we have now the Research Institute of Radiation Biology and Medicine, so-called GENIKEN, as a facilitated institute of the university. The airborne and its survivors are our reality as well as our memory. After airborne, ABCC, Atomic Bomb Casualty Commission, was established in just after World War II, 1946, to investigate physical and genetic effects of radiation among the airborne survivors in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Roughly speaking, ABCC was a research institute of AEC, Atomic Energy Commission of US. Later, ABCC became the Radiation Effect Research Foundation, RERF, now still existing in Hiroshima. While AEC is the origin of the US DOE, Department of Energy. Due to such a history, DOE developed research on the effect of radiation on heredity, chromosome abnormality, gene abnormality, and so on. Facing the end of the Cold War, DOE should change its research focus. One of the answers is genome research. Another is environmental research. Because DOE had a long history of some kind of human genome research, the decision is very natural. Based on DOE's experience of human genome research, in 1986, DOE announced Human Genome Initiative. And began pilot projects at their labs. This was earlier than NIH. NIH means National Institutes of Health, you know, which began funding of genome project in 1987, next year. In 1988, DOE and NIH agreed on cooperation on genome research. There was another important event in this year, next year, that is a ELSI working group. DOE and NIH jointly established in 1989. This is the origin of the ELSI, today's ELSI. At last, in 1990, Human Genome Project was launched to determine the DNA sequence of human genome with ELSI activities, without ELSI activities. So ELSI is due to the existence of airborne survivors in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I'd like to keep this history in my mind. And the third topic is nanotech ELSI. Nanotech ELSI was discussed about 20 years ago, around 2000. There were so many things. Let's debate on nanomaterials and man machines and very good story introduced by Drexler, which is just a science fiction or a kind of a parody of the self-propagating nanomachines. Do you remember Grey Goo story? Runaway self-propagating nanomachines covering the Earth with grey goo, not green goo, grey goo. On the other hand, in the real world, US funding agencies and the top scientists began to consider new ideas to get public budget for nanotech research. The Congress didn't decide budget for nanotech, so they started this such kind of thought. There is first concept is a convergent technology. Convergent technology means nanotechnology, biotechnology, information technology, and cognitive science, so-called NBIC. NBIC for improving human performance. This is a key concept of the nanotech initiatives. They emphasize human enhancement through NBIC. This is an official history of the early nanotech initiative. Here, I have to point out the fact important deals were made backstage at the ELSI debate. Then U.S. National Science Foundation and the UK Royal Society and so on began high-level ELSI talk in 2003 or so. Okay. At the same time, they were discussing nanotech research strategies. You know, ELSI is important not only for the sake of the ELSI itself, but research policy or research strategy, especially in international sense. To tell the true story in small voice, I was requested by U.S. key person to introduce an eminent scientist in Japan. He intended to talk with him about nanotech ELSI, as well as international cooperation, research strategy, and so on. And then, unfortunately, most of the Japanese scientists didn't understand what ELSI is and what else drives. So Japanese scientists could not join high-level talk in its early stage. And the last one is the Gordon Research Conference. I have joined the Gordon Research Conference in 2008, titled Governing Emerging Technology, especially focusing on nanotechnologies and synthetic biologies. it is similar to our session. To save time, I just present the list of topics here. You can see an example of ELSI talk, and you can find interesting topics. There are many topics. And this page, there are interesting topics such as the impact of emerging technology on governance of abilities and ableism. Ableism concerns me. And emerging technologies and emerging democracy, important topic. And I think it is important to discuss about dual use and the military issues on the emerging technology from our stage of technological development. And we can find the term standards and regulation, which will become essential in the stage of social implementation. Beyond my experiences, I'd like to express some points to be considered to carry out ELSI activities in Japan in future. We should consider difference or variation in issues by technology types and stage. For example, in the case of information technology, they have inherent tendency of social experiment. ELSI debate arises at later stage of its development. On the other hand, in the case of biotechnologies, we can find many ELSI discussions at the early stage, in which debates tend to go to regulating research and research guidelines and so on. It is difficult to balance between risk and benefit, so that there often happen anti-technology movement and so on. And my second point is a legal aspect. First, there are many problems in legal issues. For example, consider responsibility for accident during autonomous driving. This is a famous example, but this seems not so difficult problem. And how about medical imaging technology with AI, artificial intelligence? We easily find a contradiction between the responsibility to use it or not to use it. If you are a medical doctor, which option do you choose? Use or not use? It's a very difficult problem. And another sort of question in public policy field, that is in Japan, we have administrative procedure law, 行政手続き法. When the government decided to permit or deny anything, the clear reason should be indicated. And therefore, when we apply AI to administration, we should choose changing the we should change the legal rules or change the AI itself, which how to choose which is best. And the second legal system defines the direction of technology development and the social implementation. It is not so difficult. Third point is I'd like to address a kind of big issue, fundamental and difficult issue. Consider applying AI to public policy. Should we choose what AI had decided, or what has decided by democratic procedures? Do you choose AI? Do you follow AI or democratic decisions? This is a fundamental question. And also, I'd like to add could AI replace humanities, social sciences, and natural sciences, including law? And this is another aspect of big question. From opening discussion in this session, I'd like to list up barriers of ELSI we should tackle. One is we should consider ELSI in broader sense. And the second is a naive image of science technology or innocence of science technology. We can find the almighty S&T or useless of science and technology. These are extreme ideas, but both came from belief that science technology always gives complete answers. Such kind of naive image of science and technology is a huge barrier to serious discussion, to discuss in the case of discussion of ELSI. Third is another type of question, a gap between ordinary people's time sense, 時間感覚, and researchers one. According to my experience, it is only 1 year the general people can wait research result. But researchers think more long-term, more long-term plan to research. This is the last my presentation. Final point. How to realize fruitful ELSI activity in Japan. We should consider such points, especially in the case of large-scale research projects. First one is ELSI should be conducted inside of large-scale research projects, such as Moonshot, or ELSI accompanies large-scale research project. Outside. Okay, I'm sorry. あれ行き過ぎちゃった。あれ行き過ぎ戻んなかった。Okay. And final point is we need to open sphere or arena to be discussed else among unbiased participants, where topic is not limited, should not be limited. These are important point to realize fruitful ELSI activity in Japan in the near future. That's all. Thank you very much.
The next speaker is Professor Fujigaki Yuko, the University of Tokyo. She gives a talk on From ELSI to RRI, Concept Evolution in EU Research and Innovation Policy. Please.
Can you hear me? It's okay? Can you hear me? Okay, my name is Yuko Fujigaki, and today I will talk on this topic, From ELSI to RRI, Concept Evolution in European Union Research and Innovation Policy. Okay, European Union Research and Innovation Policy. European Union Research and Innovation Director General. This is a picture of the Director General's building, and it formulated 7th framework program for 2007 to 2013. It focused on from science and society to science in society. After this framework program, after this 7th Framework Program, Research and Innovation Director General drew down Horizon 2020 for 2014 to 2020. It declared science with and for society. In this Horizon 2020, RRI, Responsible Research and Innovation, was included. Now the Horizon Europe is in the process of making. The RRI is one of the key concepts in Horizon 2020. I will explain about RRI. What is RRI? It focused not only promotion, science and technology, but also societal effect and contribution of science and technology. In the web page of the Horizon 2020, explain about RRI as this. Responsible research innovation, RRI, implies that societal actors such as researchers, citizens, policymakers, business, third sector organization, etc., work together during the whole research and innovation process in order to better align both the process and its outcomes with the values, needs, and expectations of society. So, RRI implies that these kinds of societal actors work together. I will explain about the prehistory of RRI. RRI concept has evolved based on two streams. One is a program supporting the study of ethical, legal, and social implications, ELSI in United States, and ethical, legal, and social aspect for Europe of scientific and technological development in 1990s. The other stream is the upstream public engagement and constructive technology assessment in Europe from 2000s. I will explain about these two streams. Professor Kobayashi explained about the beginning of the ELSI in United States precisely. But at the same time, it is said that the starting of the ELSI was the statement by the Dr. James Watson, the Nobel Prize winner, by finding the double helix of DNA structure. He stated that ELSI research should be done using NIH fund for the Human Genome Project. After this statement by James Watson, in 1990, ELSI in United States by ELSI fund was established in United States using NIH fund. And in 2000, ELSI in Canada was established. In 2002, ELSI fund established in UK, Netherlands, Norway. And in 2008, ELSI funds in Germany, Austria, Finland were established. The ELSI funds means that 3% or 5% of total research funds should be used for ELSI research. This slide explains about another stream of the prehistory of the ELSI. In Europe, BSE scandal in the UK in the middle of the 1990s, and the GMO, genetically modified organization controversy from the end of the 1990s, and the discussions on the nanotechnology at the beginning of 2000 enhanced the developments of the public engagement. For example, citizen foresight on future of food was conducted in 1999, and nanojury, nanojury means jury for nanotechnology, was conducted in 2005 in UK. The experience of controversy on GMO leads to the discussions of upstream engagement. Once the commodity, for example GMO commodity, is on sale, it is too late to discuss the ethical aspect of the commodity. Therefore, citizens demanded to participate in the early stage of research and innovation. So, the closed research and development process should be open. Public engagement of R&D process and innovation process in the early stage, that is upstream engagement, is required. These points were recommended by Royal Society in 2004. This kind of upstream engagement is consolidated into the concept of RRI. This slide comes from the International Conference on RRI in Science and Innovation and Society held in Rome 2017. Now, the RRI is used as an umbrella term covering several words. For example, corporate social responsibility and technology assessment, applied ethics and science technology system, ELSI, and anticipatory governance. RRI includes open innovation, open access, open space engagement, and mutual learning. Umbrella term is a terminology proposed by Professor Abilip in Twente University in the Netherlands. He says that sustainability is also an umbrella term. Umbrella term is an inclusive word which plays a mediator in the governance of emerging science and technology. International Handbook. This is the picture of the International Handbook on Responsible Innovation. It was published in July this year. This is a picture of the event on Challenge for Responsible Innovation held in October 3rd this year at the Directorate General Research and Innovation building in Brussels. We discussed 6 current deficits of global research and innovation system, 4 dimensions of responsible innovation such as anticipation, inclusion, reflexivity, and responsiveness. And we also discussed about how to implement responsible research and innovation to innovation process. The essence of the RRI is open up questions, mutual discussion, and new institutionalization. This slide explains about the origin of the concept of RRI. It is a sentence in a paper written by von Schönberg, who was supposed as one of the advocates of this concept. He says, "It is frequently the case that neither scientific discovery nor the consequences of technical innovation can be traced back to intentions of particular individuals. The consequences of technological innovation are usually the results of collective action." So, this sentence says that the RRI is considered to focus on the collective responsibility. This slide summarizes the differences between RRI and classical views of social responsibility of scientists. Classical view of social responsibility of scientists focuses on the persuasion of individual responsibility and role responsibility. However, RRI focuses on collective responsibility and new institutionalization to make the life better. It also considers the responsibility as a system. It considers anticipation of the future. Therefore, social responsibility of scientists tends to accuse scientists. However, in RRI, we should think together. In addition, social responsibility of scientists tend to think ethics as constraints. But in RRI, ethics should be constructive. Therefore, we have to consider from ethics of constraint to ethics of construction. From now on, I will explain about the example of the European Union-funded projects related to RRI. This slide explains about the Marina project. This project relates to the responsible marine science. In this project, the mutual learning workshop was conducted. They conducted 17 workshops in 12 countries. In these 17 workshops, 402 stakeholders were involved. For example, 81 citizens, 66 policymakers, 104 scientists, 65 business representatives, and 24 students and 4 journalists. In this workshop, they co-created these kinds of activities. And in the report of this 17 workshop, these kinds of topics were included. For example, sustainable tourism, coastal cities, pollution, sustainable fishing, marine changes caused by climate change. This slide explains about the ASSET project. ASSET means Action Plan on Science and Society for the related science and technology for the epidemiology. Okay. So this project pursued about the responsible medical research and innovation. They made the action plan for pandemic and epidemiology. By the workshops and discussion, they pursued a common wording and approach for a pandemic, for example, common diagnostic criteria, treatment policy, and so on. In Europe, as you know, languages are different among small countries. So to prevent or to treat pandemic, they should integrate words to the common one. So this is the trial of this kind of activity. This slide explains about the PRISMA project. This is piloting responsible research innovation in industry. This project conducted RRI involving industry. The companies in the area of nanotechnology and bioscience and information and communication technology were involved. 2 companies for each field was involved. Step 1, they created indicators to make project responsible. From the references of the innovation management and RRI, they picked up 250 indicators, and they selected 92 indicators in consideration of the relevance of the industry and priority. In the step 2, they categorized 92 indicators to 4 clusters in the company's workshop. The 4 clusters means market relevant, society and environment relevant cluster, and stakeholder relevant cluster, and technology relevant clusters. By this kind of workshop, they succeeded to involve the companies. And in the 3rd step, they monitored these indicators. These are examples of the European Union's RRI-related project. From now on, I will show about the Japanese case on RRI. Okay. What kind of new perspective we can have if we apply RRI to nuclear power plants? This is a very, very important question to Japanese society. The essence of RRI is considered as 3 points: open up questions, mutual discussions, and new institutionalization. As the first point. First, as American historians of science, Porter indicated Japanese nuclear engineers were insulated to the striking degree from public scrutiny of the sort faced by Americans. To open up this kind of public scrutiny is open up questions. Second, one-way communication, just acceptance is not required. Mutual discussion means two-way communication. Third, changing the boundary of nuclear power plants regulations body or constructing new institution with whistleblowing rearranging the wall and boundary that was considered to be fixed, R, new institutionalization. These lessons from Ararai concept is valuable for the select committee of nuclear power plant in Japanese diet. This slide explains about the cases for the emerging technologies in JST RISTEX. The essence of this practice is to make network of Ararai and ELSI researchers from different disciplines. For example, there are researchers and the stakeholders of ELSI and Ararai in information technology, including artificial intelligence. And this is researchers of the researchers and stakeholders of ELSI and Ararai in bioscience. In addition, there are also researchers from molecular robotics. Making networks between them to exchange methods and tacit knowledge in Ararai and ELSI researchers will be fruitful. Dr. KONAGAYA, the fourth presenter, will present about molecular robotics area. This slide explains about the trials by the SECOM Foundation. As the private sector foundation, there's a valuable attempt by SECOM Foundation to ELSI and Ararai field. SECOM Science Technology Foundation is one of the branch of SECOM Company Limited. They have funded research relating to human security and have established ELSI and Ararai research project in 2017. For example, this green one, this green project is planning to do three things. One, refining Ararai concept. Second, examining the process of Ararai and ELSI concept. And third, case analysis on bioscience and AI. They reported that in the AI areas, ELSI is required by researchers to win the competition. However, in the bioscience, ELSI is considered as obstacle for competition. Therefore, we have to be careful about the differences among different disciplines, and we have to establish networks and exchange opinions about among disciplines. There are also projects on medicine and cognitive science, transportation research, and citizenship and media studies. In this program, we are trying to exchange methods and tacit knowledge in doing LI and LC research. Okay, this is the last slide. As I said before, RRI tried to make research process open in order to work together. RRI includes open science, open innovation, open space, engagement, and mutual learning. Let us reconsider about sixth science technology basic plan using this RRI concept. Now the sixth basic plan is under construction. I had viewed the draft in the Human Resource Committee held in October 1st in MEXT, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Culture and Sports. For example, Society 5.1, 5.0, and evaluation not based on number of papers, and ELSI. Society 5.10 and evaluation not based on number of papers, and ELSI. These 3 points are indicated in the different section in different contexts. However, these 3 problems and points connect each other under the one whole concept of RRI. Since these 3 problems relate to the open innovation, open science, and mutual learning. So we can rearrange them in consideration of concept of RRI. Thank you for your attention.
Is Professor Kishimoto, please.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. It's my great pleasure to have an opportunity to speak about ELSI. Actually, I organized a ELSI workshop yesterday in Osaka about ELSI on data business. I was surprised that more than 100 people, mainly from business, gathered at the symposium. The title of the symposium was No ELSI Activities, No Data Business. Okay, I'm afraid several of my topics overlap with previous speakers, but I organized my talk as 5 common misconceptions about ELSI. Okay, before I start, I would like to put ELSI considerations in the Moonshot program in context. As previous speakers talked about the US and the European experience, ELSI research program has a long history, over 30 years in the United States, almost 20 years in Europe. Okay, so I think we have to examine lessons learned about how to proceed ELSI research program, and we have to address expected challenges in advance. So we should avoid repeating similar discussions again and again. In other words, we can benefit from the latecomer advantage on how to proceed ELSI research program. But it is true, it is new in that the scope will be expanded from life science or biotechnology to emerging technologies in general. Okay, today I will discuss 5 common misconceptions about ELSI, in particular in Japan. These misconceptions would hamper innovation and weaken international competitiveness. I'm afraid that. First, tackling ELSI is just a practice, and there are not many research elements. Second, ELSI efforts are mainly needed at the stage of implementation at the final stage. Third, ELSI initiatives should be left to humanities and social sciences researchers. Fourth, ELSI is an obstacle to scientific research and innovation. Fifth, the last one, legal issues are the most important among ELSIs. Okay, let's examine one by one. The first misconception, tackling ELSI is just a practice and there are not many research elements. No, ELSI is constantly changing, and its identification, analysis, and solution are packed with research elements. ELSI researchers can publish papers and present poster or oral presentations in academic society. Okay, and it is important to note that ELSI initiative is different from advisory committees or ethics committees. Let's take a closer look at ELSI research program in the United States. Some of them overlap with previous speakers, but I will take a closer look. The ELSI research program was established in 1990 to anticipate and address the ELSI's ethical, legal, social implications in the Human Genome Project. No less than 5% of the National Institute of Health Human Genome Project extramural outside research budget was required to be set aside for research on the ELSI by the Congress. It was enacted by the law. Since 2004, Centers of Excellence in ELSI research, it is called CERS, were created as the infrastructure to foster highly transdisciplinary research, facilitate the translation of such research into policy and practice, and develop the next generation of ELSI researchers. Okay, this graph shows the time trend of ELSI program budget. Okay, as you can easily find the peak of the budget was around $25 million in around 2010. But okay, sorry. The yellow line shows the total. The ELSI program budget consists of two types. One is investigator-initiated, green line. The other is called program-initiated, red line. The Centers of Excellence in ELSI research series included, the budget for the centers are included in the program initiated. The upper limit of the budget for centers was set 1/3 of total ELSI program budget. In recent years, almost 17 or 18 million dollars were set aside for ELSI program budget. Okay, let's move on to the second misconception. ELSI efforts are mainly needed at the stage of implementation. No, different types of ELSI can be found in different stages of emerging technologies, such as research phase, development phase, formation phase, implementation phase, operation phase. In other words, upstream, midstream, downstream. So it is essential that ELSI team members are engaged very early on. But it depends on the type of emerging technologies, as Kobayashi-sensei mentioned earlier. Okay, the third misconception, ELSI initiatives should be left to humanities and social sciences researchers. No, also. The essence of ELSI initiatives is co-creation or co-production among stakeholders, including scientific researchers, ELSI researchers as well, and governmental section, citizen, or some or other stakeholders. ELSI initiatives are implemented as interdisciplinary research from the beginning of the design process. Let's look at the Canadian case. In Canada, Genome Canada, a not-for-profit government agency, was created in 2000. This program is called GE3LS, Genomic, Ethical, Economics, Environmental, Legal, Social Issues. This program made the inclusion of GE3LS research component a mandatory requirement for all of the large-scale science projects it funded. There are three different models of GE3LS research: standalone, embedded, and integrated. Standalone types is funded directly to each researcher. Embedded type is funded within a larger project, but not necessarily have connection with scientific research. But integrated type is the most rewarding, it is said, but also challenging. But I think the ideal of the ELSI research is kind of integrated type, hopefully. Okay, this picture showed the gap or policy vacuum between emerging science and technology left hand, than the society right hand. Okay. The gap between emerging science and technology and the society is sometimes called trans-science area. It includes ELSI, ethical, legal, and social issues, and safety and security issues as well. In order to fill this area, trans-science area, okay, normative analysis and descriptive observations of ELSI should be implemented mainly from the society side. On the other hand, regulatory science or translational research should be implemented from the science and technology, mainly from the science and technology side. But these activities should be implemented as collaborative work between science and technology and the society, humanities and social sciences side. Okay, let's move on to the fourth misconception. ELSI is an obstacle to scientific research and innovation. No, tackling ELSI provides an opportunity for innovation. From this kind of way of thinking, this perspective, RRI, responsible research and innovation, as Fujigaki-sensei mentioned earlier, has been proposed and promoted in Europe. Okay, this is a last fifth misconception. Legal issues are the most important among ELSIs. No, it is true that legal issues are important, but I would like to insist that ethical and social issues are also important as well. E ethical, L legal, and S social are all important for innovation of emerging technologies. Okay, let's examine each. Ethics is the norms people should rely on in the society, and some of them becomes foundation of laws. Laws are forced to continually reviewed from ethics, and also sometimes can be changed depending on the demand from the society. But society, S, is rather erratic and unstable. On the other hand, ethics is regarded as relatively stable compared with society. The relationship between E, L, and S, ethics, legal, and social, is a little bit complex. There could be many cases. Case 1 is a case. There is while it is legal, but it is judged not to be ethical nor socially acceptable. Some of emerging technologies would fall under case 3. Legally violated, but maybe acceptable by society. Laws and regulations cannot catch up with the speed of technological innovations. This problem is sometimes called pacing problems. So, the correct action is not to stop business, but to lobby for legal or regulatory change in this K3. If one of E, L, and S is missing, innovation would fail. Okay, finally, I will list several expected criticisms to ELSI initiatives in the near future in Japan based on the US and European experiences. I listed only 3 of them. One is, I think, the most serious and important challenge is about conflict of interest. Whether ELSI researchers receiving ELSI funds would have the intellectual freedom to criticize the program itself, in particular in the integrated type, because the research budget, the decision to allocate research budget to ELSI researchers depends on the PI of the scientific research area. The second one is about effectiveness. ELSI program in the United States, sometimes ELSI program was criticized to fail to have noticeable impact. But it is very difficult to define what is noticeable impact and how to measure and how to evaluate. The third, it relates to the third problem about evaluation, how to measure and evaluate the outcomes of ELSI initiative. And also, we have to prepare how to measure and evaluate the outcomes of ELSI researchers as well. I think this kind of program is kind of ELSI of ELSI initiatives. So some ELSI researchers should involve in ELSI of ELSI researchers. Okay. Okay. My point is that, as I mentioned several times, we must prepare these challenges by learning lessons from from other countries' experiences. Okay, this is a summary, just a summary. I do not repeat these sentences. Okay, thank you very much.
Everyone come back? Okay. So now we would like to restart the second half of this session. This second half of the session has 2 presentations. The first half, we discussed rather theoretical and historical discussion of the ELSI. But we have, in Japan, we have some concrete case, of course, of ELSI. And today, as Professor Fujigaki mentioned, RISTEX, Research Institute of Science and Technology for Society, has done many ELSI-like activities. And so today, this second half, we have two presenters. The first presenter is Professor KONAGAYA. He is working on he's doing research on the ELSI issues under the funding of RISTEX. And the other presenter, Dr. Shirai-san, has also long experience of ELSI activities. So this concrete and practical experience is very instructive for understanding ELSI. So Professor KONAGAYA, please.
Thank you, Chairman. First of all, I'd like to express special thanks for the organizers inviting me to talk in this session. And okay, why we need ELSI? Because there's no signpost before emerging technology. And so this is a kind of summary mark discussed in the RRA workshop held in 2018. Okay. It's a kind of consensus conference or meeting, including journalists and the citizens, as well as scientific researchers. Okay. And we are talking about future prospects and the issues of molecular robotics. Okay. And this map gives a good hint for us, because what we should do for brilliant futures and what we should not do for not falling into dark futures. Okay. Well, anyway, let's start about my talk. And most of all, maybe don't know about anything about molecular robotics. So I'd like to briefly introduce molecular robotics and its applications. Then I talk about how to use ELSI to promote emergent technology like molecular robotics. Okay? The goal of molecular robotics is to develop self-propelling artifacts made of biomolecules with sense and intelligence, as like live things. It's like a Moonshot-like cause, isn't it? Yeah? Okay. And fortunately, we announced this goal in 2010, 10 years ago. And fortunately, we could get big fund from next $10 million for 5 years in 2012. Okay. But during that period, or the project period, okay, when we talked about visions of molecular robotics and the progress, everybody laughed at us, and no one believes we could achieve the goal. But final result is the following. So this is a molecular robot developed in Tohoku University. Collaborate with other researchers and in the other universities, but mainly integrated in Tohoku University. So it looks like bacteria. The size of this robot is almost 10 micrometer, almost similar to the bacteria size. And moves like cells. And the point is, this is artifacts. We can control the movement. Yeah? Actually, we use DNA computing. So in that sense, DNA computer inside. Yeah. Yeah. This is another type of amoeba type molecular robot, yeah, developed in Nagoya University. They used different chemical energy actuators using the actin filaments. Okay? And when we radiate, due to the light irradiation, the shape of the amoeba type is totally different. And they have some kind of stretching and shrinking of phytopodia-like extensions, like amoebas. So this is another type of amoeba type robot, amoeba type molecular robot developed in Tottori University. Yeah. So it produced the network of peptides, nanofibers. And such growth made artificial membrane to move when we due to the light stimuli. Yeah. So, recently we have published a couple of papers related to molecular robots. Okay? And when we talk about molecular robotics, many people ask us, what is the application of molecular robotics? So we started some spin-off project to solve the real-world issues in medical, energy, and environment. Okay. Let me show some explanation. Okay. So we started a new project for medical use, aiming to replace the pancreatic islet transportation for type 1 diabetes. So we use molecular robotics to develop a smart drug with sensors and intelligence in some sense. Okay? And the molecular robot have sensors to sense the glucose concentration. And if glucose concentration becomes higher than some threshold, they start to break by themselves. And emitting some drugs like insulin, for example. And we've already finished in vitro experiments, and now we are starting in vivo experiments with small animals. Another application is molecular artificial muscle. But to move, well, for moving, for driving, for example, you may use oil or electricity. But for walking, most people don't need to use any oil nor electricity, but just use their muscles to walk. Yeah? And the muscle can maybe use chemical energy. Yeah? And if we can make use such chemical energy for actuators, might be able to achieve clean world. And this is the current state of. Okay, so we have already developed some artificial mass prototype, and can move micro machine in millimeter size. And we also have a technology to align the direction of the power. So in this case, it consists of hundreds of million of microtubules. The size is 3 millimeters in diameter. And this is another project we are now promoting. So if you go to Hokkaido, for example, you will see some farm is dark and wet, but some farm is dry and dusty. And sometimes you will see vegetables growing in a farm without any grasses, no insect. Mainly due to the use of chemical fertilizer. And it may destroy the carbon circulation in soil. And total amount of CO2 in the soil is 2 or 3 times bigger than total amount of plants on the earth. And the loss of the CO2 in the soil is a major reason for increase of CO2 in atmosphere. Okay. So to come back to the better carbon circulation, we need some kind of new type of agriculture. And I hope robotics might be contributed to such new type of agriculture. Okay, now I'd like to talk about how ELSI is important to promote such emerging technology like molecular robotics. Okay. So, but to promote ELSI practices in molecular robotics, we started the collaborative research with the ethics group led by Professor Shinichi over there. Okay. It's a kind of collaborative works. It works very well. And we also applied the latest ELSI technology for technical assessment of molecular robotics. And when we organized the first international conference of molecular robot ethics, Dr. Liam Van Est mentioned about the kind of caution to molecular robotics. If molecular robots have acquired the self-duplication property. Yeah. It might be, or it might increase this factor. So, I don't think molecular robotics, in some way, molecular robotics can have self-duplication property, but it would not be so harmful. Okay. But this caution implies us we need some guidance to promote research and development of molecular robotics. And as ethical researchers also mentioned about the technology assessment molecular robotics itself. Because molecular robot, it's a totally interdisciplinary technologies, including chemistry, biology, information science, and machine science. Anyway, it's interdisciplinary. So, in order to assess such interdisciplinary technology, okay, Dr. Szymanski mentioned not to lock in the specific issues, such as dual issues. Dual issues is also important, but it's not a good way. Not to lock in the specific issue is very important. And Professor Oye, he's an expert in dual issues, also mentioned about adaptive approach would be necessary because no one expects what will happen in future. And Dr. Stefan Ringler also said in order to assess the interdisciplinary technology like molecular robotics, interdisciplinary technology assessment will be needed. Yeah. So, and to promote molecular robotics, firstly, we started to formulation of ethical principles. And this is done by one of the ethics researchers, Professor Naoto Kahara in AR Center in Kyushu University. This is because we are interested in to formulate some kind of research guideline, finally medical research guideline. So we recruit the ethical researcher who are familiar in medical issues in our project. And it took 1 year to formulate the ethical principles of robotics. My discussion with Professor Kahara and me and the other person. And we propose we propose this discipline in the annual conference of molecular robotics to the molecular robotics researchers. Okay. And the reaction is the following. They say, oh, it's okay. And I suggest let's announce the ESCA principle. Okay? This is ESCA principle from molecular robotics community. Then, big discussion happened there. Okay? And we need another 1 year. And we to finalize the ESCA principle. Now, okay, so this version is 1.1. And in 2018, March 2018, we announced version 1.2 from the researchers in molecular robotics. And everybody agreed to announce such principle from the molecular robotics community. And this is my personal opinion. This is okay, but sounds like pushy for researchers. Okay. So in that sense, responsible research and innovation is much easier for researchers to promote ethics. And for SGs, is a good concept, but we can understand SGs like this from the viewpoint of responsible research and innovation. Okay. This is my future prospect and issue of molecular robotics down in a consensus conference in 2018. And we noticed many issues we have to. Okay, this is summary. Summary of my talk. And ELSI is very important to lead emerging technology to brilliant future. And another important point is commitment from the researchers, especially for leaders of the research group. And the ESCA framework, like technology assessment, principle, guideline, population, ROI, is very, very effective, okay? And worth practicing. But it takes a very long time, years in time frame, for researchers understand the meaning of ethics. Okay. Okay. Thank you for listening.
Dr. Shirai, please.
Thank you for introduction, Kobayashi sensei. First of all, let me show self-introduction a little more. I was a researcher. My degree is molecular biology. But after taking this degree, I changed research stream. I started researching ELSI and science communication in the life science field. And then now I'm not a researcher. My job name is University Research Administrator, called URA. Kyoto University Research Administration Office was launched about 8 years ago. I was moving also. This slide shows today's contents. I have 3 topics. One is example of ELSI initiative. Second is function and human resource required for ELSI efforts. Third is organizational system required for ELSI efforts. At first, example. When I was a researcher, I'm a member of Genome ELSI unit by MEXT. I researched ELSI in genome science. For example, research dealing with human samples, research on next generation sequencers, and synthetic biology. At Kyoto University, as URA, I support research project about ELSI in space science. By the way, this is question. if you have to tackle ELSI in human genome research, what do you do first? In Japanese. 急に振られたら最初どうしますか? We researched what kind of ELSI exists and then created an overhead view. This map shows ELSI in genome research using human sample, human biospecimen. There are many issues, but I can categorize in five. For example, obtain consent, sample handling, ethical review, disclosure of result, and environment surrounding researchers. Next slide shows ELSI in space science. There are many issues, so I can categorize activity type, issue type, actor and stakeholders. In activity type, space exploration, space development, space use. And actor and stakeholders, public sector, private sector, astronauts, and researcher or academia, public, others, for example, terrorists. And then in issue type, merit, demerit, others including dual use or privacy issue. I think important point is how to make this map. This map is made by not only space science researcher, but also various scientists and stakeholders, such as STS researcher, legal scholar, philosopher, and JAXA member. So at the beginning of ELSI effort, we have to research what kind of ELSI exists. And the next stage, we have to create a solution. This slide shows example of issue about ELSI in human genome science. About 10 years ago, at that time, the government's research guidelines dealing with human specimens are old. Do not take into account current genomic research method, so the researcher cannot proceed. Researcher confused. Second question. What do you do to solve this issue? Could you please try to image? Example solution. First step, we establish a forum or a place where genome researcher and related researchers can discuss guidelines. These are agenda example. Latest genome research situation and necessity of research, handling of personal information, society impact and risk, public research and private research balance. And then in some cases, research is required in addition to discussion. Next step, we have to create forum for policymakers to revise the guideline. There are many steps. We gather relevant policymakers. We explain the current state of research and the necessity of revision. We promote to discuss about the revised proposal. And we created revised text, draft text. And then we have to inform the research community, human genome scientist community, about the revised guideline. These steps are simplified, actually more complicated. So next topics, I will show function and human resource from my experience of ELSI efforts. I think ELSI efforts have 3 stages. First is research on issue. Second is creating a solution to issue. Third is implementation of solution. At first stage, research on issue, we have to clarify what exists as ELSI in the research project and get an overview, because ELSI need to be shared with various stakeholders. These are research agenda. What problem exists for whom? For example, stakeholder are researcher, collaborator, sample provider, policy maker, public, etc. And important agenda is gap. Previously, gap showed by Kishimoto sensei. Gap is literacy, purpose of research, risk and benefit. There are many trans-science regions. So how to do? How to research? We have to review of literature or academia paper, web survey, questionnaire, hearing survey, focus group interview, etc. So we need this human resource, regulatory science, technology assessment, STS, researchers are required for ELSI research. And then ELSI research is impossible only by researchers in the same field of the research project, science research. But it is also necessary to actively commit them. Previously, KONAGAYA sensei showed scientists actively them. And then it is necessary to cooperate with researchers of natural science, humanities, and social science according to the contents of each issue. Second stage, creating a solution to issue. We have to discuss solution with various stakeholders and individual issues, because many issues cannot be solved by single expert or stakeholders alone. How to do? Three topics. There are three topics. One is explanation. We have to explain various stakeholders, and it is necessary to provide explanation that can be understood by non-experts, and then share not only the concept on the research project and its ELSI, but also the vision of the research project. Second point, we have to a forum or place for interdisciplinary discussion involving diverse researchers and stakeholders. It is necessary not only to gather diverse participants, but also to design a place. Design a place where discussion can be held. Third point is we have to create a solution from discussion of diverse participants. Facilitation to encourage deliberation, and service design to visualize concepts and ideas are required. So we need these human resource. One is public relations specialists. When we hear public relations specialist in Japanese, koho jinzai. Many people imagine koho jinzai have skill to explain to non-specialists. I think it is important, but rather it is important to have koho jinzai, public relations specialist who can plan public relations strategy and manage the entire public relations project. And then we have to create a forum. So we need people with human network in diverse fields, various sector with right footwork and with ability to plan and manage each event. Third point, we have to create a solution. So we need facilitation skill and knowledge of service design. Third stage, implementation of solution. And in this stage, there are various activities to solve the problems. But most activities require some kind of public relations. Public relation is two-way communication, not one-way communication. And then management of all ELSI effort is required. So we need public relations specialists and human resource who understand ELSI and are able to manage the entire project. In some case, it is also necessary to obtain a budget to proceed with the project, ELSI project. Final topics, I will show organizational system required for ELSI efforts. I have 3 topics elements. One is securing human resource. Second is research project structure. Third is evaluation. First, securing human resources. As shown previously in my presentation, various research are required. STS, technology assessment, regulatory science, natural science, humanities and social science, and specialists. For example, research manager and supporter, recently called URA in Japan. Specialists have these skills. And some URA can handle ELSI efforts, and the number of URA increase in Japanese academia. But it is not recognized by oneself and others that URA are human resource capable of ELSI initiative. Second point, research project structures. I think a team that specialized in ELSI is required for each research project, each science research project, because ELSI effort is impossible only by science researchers. The burden on researcher also increased. Next slide show conventional research system. Project manager is researcher. Project manager have some PIs. PI have some researchers. In this system, members are only scientists, researchers. Right figures show system required for ELSI effort. Project manager of ELSI effort supported scientific project manager and team, including various stakeholders, various researchers and URAs, and collaborate with researchers by cross-organizational. Finally, evaluation. Evaluation is issue. It is difficult to determine what is output or outcome of ELSI efforts. So I think deep discussion needs other occasion. But if the purpose of the evaluation is to focus on evaluation ELSI effort in Japanese academia, it is important to pay attention to function, human resource organization. Because to continue and improve the level of ELSI efforts, we have to pass on function and experience needed for ELSI efforts, and human resource required to pass on function and experience. And then an organization or communities need to retain human resource. So I have image of that situation. This scientific researcher tackle ELSI voluntarily in addition to conventional research activities, and ELSI efforts are not reflected in the career path of researchers or specialists. In this situation, ELSI efforts will not continue and will not be upgraded. So we have to clarify human resource working on ELSI and evaluate research results and professional activity by those human resources. And then evaluation of human resources tackling to ELSI should be considered together with a system that can establish and improve their career. This slide is final, shows summaries. ELSI efforts have 3 stages: research on issue, creating a solution to issue, implementation of solution. And all stages, there are various activities, and not only researchers, but also various specialists are required. And then establishing ELSI efforts required a system that can be secure specialized human resource and evaluate their specialized activities. That's all.
We'd like to open the discussion to the floor, and maybe please raise the hand and your name and affiliation, please. Okay, and questions or comments in English or in Japanese. Both is okay. Okay. So, do you have any comments or questions? No? Silent? Don't hesitate, please. Yes, please.
Thank you so much. Very greatly inspiring and insightful presentation. And my name is Arimoto. I'm GRIPS and the JST. I've been working for the progress of Japanese LC and the RRI. From the administrative point is still we are lacking. Yes, Shirai-san mentioned the personnel and particularly institutionalization of these activities to address those kind of mission-oriented, particularly mission-oriented project. So one of the lacking of your discussion is how to make the top-level scientists, particularly natural scientists, recognize importance of this field. So do you have any ideas? This is a big chance. Moonshot, not a moonlight. Moonshot is politically initiated by the political sectors. But we need bottom-up something like this kind of RI. But the political sectors now looking for your activities, our activities. So it's high chance to make some sharp recommendation to be acted. So it's just a general question. Thank you.
Who should respond to this question? Very important question. And at the beginning of this session, I said that today's session is Moonshot and LC, or LC and Moonshot, and not the LC of Moonshot. So the next phase is we must proceed to the LC of Moonshot. And today, executive member of CIST, Ueyama-san, attended and listened to our sessions. So mainly this problem and institutionalization of the LC is CIST's mission task. But at the same time, we should say some recommendations on these matters. And so later, I will show this tentative proposal. And so, anybody respond? Another Kobayashi-san, how about this problem?
Thank you. Difficult question. Around more than 10 years ago, or maybe 15 years ago, I failed to organize such kind of activities in Japan. Then I asked top scientists in Japan to discuss about LC with foreign top scientists and top public officers in funding agency. But I failed that. So after that, I feel it is difficult to realize such kind of organization or institutionalization. But such kind of things is a kind of on the wave. So maybe this time is a chance to organize or institutionalize ELSI or related activities. But I don't have now not so power or vitality. After that, I became so-called handicapped. So I hope younger people so, they should. I hope they build up, establish such kind of institutions or organization. I hope.
Thank you. Maybe that event was a trauma for him, but this is a very good chance, opportunities, and how to implement this ELSI into Japanese research system is, I think, a very urgent challenges, and I think recently many researchers and policy makers are interested in the ELSI. So we tried to show this, on this session, proper understanding of ELSI historically and issue. So the next stage is how to implement, and we would like to discuss to the way of implementation with you all. And any younger, okay. Maybe.
経験談なんですけれども、イギリスの URA、向こうはリサーチマネージャーというふうに言われることが多いですけれども、向こうの研究者が、こういう ELSI のことをやっていると、そういうプロジェクトでしっかりやっているのを見たときに、そういう文化があって素晴らしいですねっていうことを向こうの URA に聞いたことがあるんです。そうするとそれは違うって言われて、文化じゃないと、お金に紐づいてるんだと言いました。なので大きいプロジェクト、特にELSI の要素の強いプロジェクトはお金にもう 50% エフォートとして入っていると。で向こうの研究者は日本と違うのはジョブディスクリプションが明確なので、その大きいプロジェクトに 50%ELSI のことをしないといけないというふうになると、そこで雇用される研究者にはもう半分リサーチ、半分 ELSI というのが明確につけられると。でプラスアルファ、私が今日示した右側の図のように、ELSI の組織じゃないけれどもリサーチマネージャーの組織があって、その中から人が派遣されるわけです。大きいプロジェクトが大学で取られるというような人の循環が回っていると。なので私その義務化というふうなのはいいとは思ってないんですけれども、やはり最初のきっかけとしては大事だと思っています。でそれの具体例が国民との科学技術対話で、もう今から9年前ですかね、あれが出たことによって、科研費等にもそういうふうなアウトリーチをしましょうと書かれるようになって、やはり日本の研究者コミュニティの意識も変わったと思うんです。なので義務化が必ずいいとは思わないですけれども、最初のきっかけとしてはそのようなやり方もあるのかなというふうには思います。
Thank you. And Professor Konagaya, do you have any comment from the point of view of the actual scientist?
Okay. 日本語でいいですか。そうですね。まず大事なことはその ELSI の活動を世に広められるかどうかっていうところだと思うんですね。でそこで今一番問題になるのが、その ELSI を扱ってくれるウェルノンなサイエンティフィックジャーナルっていうのがほとんどない。で、むしろロボットの時も ELSI のペーパー書いたんですけども、結構いろんなとこからやっぱりリジェクトを食らうんですね。でなんていうんですかね、これ非常に難しくて、多分そういうそのナチュラルサイエンスに関連するジャーナルがもっとやっぱり ELSI に対してそういう論文をこう採択してもらえるようになると、そういう論文が読まれるチャンスって増えると思うんですけども、これ多分ソーシャルサイエンスの方でいくらジャーナル作ったとしても呼ばれないですよね、これね。 だそのあたりのちょっと文化を変えていくっていうところから始めないとなかなかそのエスカルなリサーチャーのプロモーションにも関わりますし、だからなんかちょっとこの活動をちゃんと評価できるような仕組みっていうのをまず作る必要があるんじゃないかなっていう気がしてます。
Yes, this is a very important point. 10 years ago or more, GMO debate was very severe in those days. Some researchers tackling with the safety of GMOs are not so enthusiastic to the research of the safety research because they have no journals to publish his safety research papers. But after 5 years, new journal was released, and they can publish the safety research paper. So suddenly they are very enthusiastic to the safety research. So this is very important point. Thank you very much. Another question or comment, please. Yes, please.
I'm Katsumi Emura from NEC Corporation. You were discussing about the kind of literacy of ELSI, and there are many points. One is how to educate the scientist when they are young, and that is one thing. The other thing is someone mentioned about public relationship, and another thing is to improve the literacy of the citizens, and how to do that without having the right understanding of ethics. We cannot go forward. So we need to have a proper measure to improve those things. Could you comment on that?
Fujigaki-san, okay?
Thank you so much for your very interesting question. For your first part, how to educate about the ELSI to the young researchers, one of the trial of my university, University of Tokyo, is the establishing the bringing up some kind of program to bring up the science and technology interpreter. In the education, science and technology communicator program, the young scientists discuss each other and discuss about the ELSI aspect and what is responsible research, or what is the social responsibility of the scientist. Such kind of activity, such kind of trial, the experiences can be applied when we design the education of young scientists. For the second part, it's also very important when we discuss about the RRI, because in RRI, the collaborative work of the public and scientists and engineers is very important. So the bringing up the scientific literacy is so important too for the collaboration. And one idea is the education of the liberal arts. Liberal arts, in my university, we are designing such kind of liberal arts relating to relationship between science and technology, or relating to RRI. Active citizenship to discuss about the very current emerging science technology. It's one part of such kind of scientific literacy. So I think that liberal arts education, the designing of the liberal arts education, is one of the very important activity to institutionalize the ELSI activity or research. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have two comments. Not only your comment, your to your comment, but also the previous one. I'm planning to publish or organize some case studies, because there are a lot of cases that failed because of lack of consideration of ELSI in the past, not only in Japan but also in other countries. We usually forget them soon, but and repeat similar mistakes again and again. So I think it is necessary to publish case study textbooks showing various kinds of failures in various fields. One thing. The other one is called by design approach. In the past, safety consideration is outside of the technological innovation in the past. But recently, the approach is called safety by design approach. The safety have to be integrated into technological development. Also, there is a term, security by design. And recently, in the context of data science, privacy by design is also promoted. Similarly, ELSI by design or ELSI consideration by design should be proposed and promoted in research and development of emerging technologies. One thing to persuade technological researchers to consider ELSI.
Professor Konagaya, a short response, please.
じゃあ分子ロボットの経験から言いますと、エルシーってなかなか教えたら分かると思うんじゃなくて、やっぱ実践しないとなかなか身につかないっていうか分からないものだと思ってまして、で分子ロボットの場合には実は学生国際コンテストっていうのがあってですね、でそこで考えたのが、学生がその自分のチームを作ってウィキにこういろいろアクティビティをアップするんですけども、その時にエルシーの項目を入れたチームだけ、渡航費用をサポートするっていうふうにしたんですね。でこれはものすごくよく聞きまして、彼ら一生懸命勉強して自分たちの課題がどんなエルシー的な問題があるかっていうのを結構真面目にちゃんと挙げてくれました。でこれは多分一番効くんじゃないかなと思ってます。
A very nice idea. Thank you very much. Some lady, yes.
すいません、内閣府インパクト室の河合と申します。2つお伺いしたいと思います。1つはですね、白井先生の方からELSIのチームはそれぞれのプログラムに必要だというお話がありましたが、その前の岸本先生でしたか方からは AI についてのELSIとバイオについてのELSIは方向性が違うので、それぞれの経験をシェアするべきだ、あるいは一緒にやるべきだというお話もありました。そうなるとそれぞれのプログラムというよりはプログラムを横断的にELSIを見る人がいた方がいいっていうようなお考えにもなるかもしれません。どちらもあった方がいいのかもしれませんけれども、それについてもしコメントがあればお願いします。2つ目は地球温暖化のグループからクライメートチェンジでのELSIって何なのかよくわからないという質問をいただいておりまして、もし何かサジェッションがあればお願いいたします。
はい、1つ目の質問ですけれども、今ご提案いただいたように横断的に人が関わっているのは良いと思います。私がご紹介したのはそれぞれのプロジェクトに専門で担当するELSIの人がいないと回らないよという意味で伝えたのであって、それが他のプロジェクトと人が重複していても横断的の方がもちろんナレッジとか経験も共有できるのでいいと思います。ただ今日先生方いっぱいご紹介ありましたように、一言でELSIと言ってもものすごく幅が広くて活動も広いので、生命科学でのサイエンティフィックな知識だけじゃなくてELSIの活動がすぐに AI で生きるかって言ったら、生きるものもあれば生きないものもあるというふうには認識はしておいてもらった方がいいように思います。 すみません、もう一点だけ、人材のプールってやはり大事だと思うんですね。先ほどちらっと言いましたけれども、イギリスの方のリサーチマネージャーの組織の中には、そのELSIに対応できるような人がいて、大きなプロジェクトがその大学で生まれると、その人が派遣されるわけです。なくなると、また元の組織に戻るわけですね。そのように循環して、新しいものがあれば、その元の組織に戻って、また新しい人、また同じ人が派遣されてというようなサイクルになっていました。そうすると、各プロジェクトごとにそのELSIの経験を持った人が生まれて消えるのではなくて、経験値っていうのが流動していくと、そういう構造もあり得るかなと思います。
いいですか。今のプログラムに関しては、最初の点に関しましては、大学一番最初のインスティテューショナライゼーションの質問にも関係しますけど、大学ベースで白井さんがやっているように、その URA が大学ベースで作る形でやるのか、それとも JST みたいなファンディングエージェンシーベースで作るのかによって、ちょっと設計の仕方が違うかなというふうに思っております。それで2点目の質問ですけれども、気候変動ですね、クライメートチェンジのELSIはいろいろございます。で普通緩和策と適応策っていうのがあって、緩和策は CO2 の量を削減するわけですね。で適応策の方はもうそれが間に合わないので、クライメートエンジニアリング気候工学でですね、例えばあるガスを成層圏にまいて全体の気温を下げるっていう、こともある。でそうすると気候工学なんていうのはもうELSIがバリバリに関わってきまして、要するに気候を変えると。である地域は、それによって雨が降るかもしれないけど、そのことによって全球的な影響が出て、他のところは砂漠化するかもしれない。それは気候を変えるというのはそういう意味で非常に倫理的な問題をはらみます。で同時にその CO2 の量を削減するというガバナンスができなくてそういうことに陥っているにもかかわらず、そういう気候工学を一体誰がガバナンスするのかっていうところで、非常なる問題が発生するわけですね。CO2 削減に失敗したにもかかわらず、それを工学的にやろうとして、一体そのガバナンスを誰がどんなふうにやるのかっていうことでもかなりの倫理的な問題が発生していると思います。
今のクライメートチェンジの話についてですね、星垣先生のやつに付け加えて言うと、クライメートチェンジの研究っていうのは大学の中でとどまっているものではないというのは明らかで、まさに社会の中にあると。だから先ほどの藤垣先生がおっしゃったような例で言えば、例えば温暖化すれば北極海が使えるからっていう、そういうアドバンテージのある人たちもいるわけですね。で逆の人たちもいるわけですね。でさらにもっと細かいことで言うと、アメリカで議論になっているように産業界、例えばオイルインダストリーの人たちとそうでない人たちの間の対立があるとか、そういうその社会の中のコンフリクトとそのクライメートチェンジの研究の話というのが、アメリカの場合には見事にトランプ大統領を媒介してですね、研究の方向すら変えかねないような状況、変えるような状況になってきてしまっているという問題があります。でこの背後にもう一つ重要な問題として存在するのは、私さっきちょっともにゃもにゃと言ったんですけども、一般の人たちとかですね、場合によっては政治家も含めて、科学に対する正しい見方というか、まともな見方をしていないケースがかなり増えてきている。つまり、間違った科学のイメージを持っている。科学は完全に、反証可能性があってですね、再現性があるとかっていうようなことを強くイメージしていて、それに合わないような規制はダメだというのがトランプ大統領の共和党の考え方ですし、そういう考え方との間の調整というのもELSIの重要な課題ですね。でもっと言うと、その背後には今日は皆さんサイエンティストに関係する人たちが入っているので問題にならないんですが、僕もこの準備の段階で言ったんですが、実はもっと重要な問題はエセ科学とか疑似科学とか、そういうものが蔓延しているという状況が今日あります。でそれと戦うのも、特にそういうものと戦うフロントに立っているのがクライメートチェンジの分野だというふうに思っています。
Thank you very much. Yes, fake news and the post-truth is a very serious challenge to the proper understanding of science. And he said that this is also an issue of the ELSI. So the last comment or questions, if there are, okay. We have to close this session on 12. So the last 7 minutes is left to us. Okay. Okay, so I'd like to summarize and conclude this session. How to move this slide. Where is? Yes, and this is today's presenter's title. And okay. I would like to conclude this session as follows. We should conduct ELSI activities. This is a basic assumption for our session. Why? We must realize science and technology innovation, meeting expectation from society. We need to realize the science and technology in society and for society. So to contribute to the reform of research system in Japan, I mean that implementing ELSI into the research system. However, there were not enough effort for and recognition of ELSI research and practice so far, as Mr. Emra pointed out. So especially, we should make efforts to address ELSI in the Moonshot program. It is a key element for the success of this cutting-edge and disruptive innovation program. And we would like to share the followings on ELSI activities. ELSI activities are essential components in conducting research. Today's presenters, all of them emphasize this point. That ELSI is not an obstacle of research, rather than an escort runner or good friend. The good friend is often saying an harsh, severe thing, but this is the role of the good friend. So not obstacle. And ELSI should be addressed from various viewpoints, including legal aspects. But of course, legal aspect is important, but not everything. And ELSIs should be carried out throughout research. ELSI must be done corresponding to the stage of research. And ELSI should engage everyone involved in research, including researchers and science and technology as well. And dialogue of stakeholders are critical. And ELSI should be encouraged and highly appreciated. ELSI is not an extra or adjunct to science and technology research. And ELSI contribute to the quality of research. Without ELSI, the Moonshot program will be risky and dangerous. So we would like to propose the following for the Moonshot program. To implement ELSI activities through the Moonshot program from proposal solicitation to evaluation. How to do is, in a sense, SISTI's mission, but we must say more. And we would like to discuss with SISTI. And to support researchers is important, especially PDs and PMs in working on ELSI. How to do it? By providing opportunities for researchers to learn ELSI, and by creating a network of stakeholders and a forum for discussion for each Moonshot goals. We can learn from the experience of the Gordon Conference in the US. And by fostering people who do and or support ELSI activities, as Shirai-san emphasized, how many human resources needed, and network is very important. And last but not least, to secure resources for above activities. Human resources and budget is critical. This point is our proposal from the discussion of this session. Thank you very much, and see you next time.